Both Verdant and Natives, they're plug-and-play lineups. Nord, on the other hand, they have a lot that they need to develop, as they've been pointing out.
As we are going to be jumping into the Champions Let, and Veteran, interesting, B1, R1 ban was not Zeri. First time that has happened today, first time in a long time. Also seeing the Maokai taken off the board. Now we get to taking the Zeri away, and I'm interested to see what Verdant want to do. Do they want to continue with this sort of playing towards Gooby playstyle they've gone to, or do they want to throw Nil out a bone? Just go, yeah, you can play Jax, yeah, you can play Camille, just for this one game, so that we can keep these sort of two playstyles in a decent spot.
They may be aware of a limitation we're not. Maybe Gooby really favours the Lucian side of a Lucian-Zeri matchup, and so they banned the Maokai, anticipating that they may be able to get Zeri. When their opponents ban Vi, they know that their opponents are looking to go Zeri first pick, because that's two of the biggest point-and-click CCs in the game out. Nico being out's really good for every single mid laner involved. No one wants to deal with that. I would anticipate the last ban potentially being Lucian, but the Milio has been removed. So, again, these guys think that Lucian Nami isn't that big a deal. Verdant, on the other hand, right, they choosingly banned the Milio, but not the Lucian, so they're going to Lucian Nami. They're not going to be against like a Milio Aphelios or Milio Jinx. That Yuumi ban isn't going to affect them either, because they really want the Nami. Interesting to see what Nord comes in with. You know, I love me some monkey business, right? You know my feelings on Wukong, right? I think that's a really good blindable option that you can do here. I would expect to see this and potentially an AD carry match coming out from Nord.
Yeah, I make a lot of sense. Misfortune actually laying down a little bit of a gauntlet. We don't really see her too much of the time, but paired up with the Nautilus Veteran, it doesn't take a color caster to see that at level 6 there is a lot of one-buy potential in the bot lane.
Oh yes, lose pre-6, but then post-6, my god, press R again, and you win. Point and click ultimate from Nautilus is very good against high mobility champions, which the Lucian Nami lane is. We can see why they decided not to ban the Lucian Nami. They prepped for this specific situation, and another thing, Misfortune brings up the ease of composition. I think Nord are going to end up with a composition where it's quite easy for them to all track their role in a team fight, and that's very good if you have developmental players like Oman and Indecision.
Yeah, and so maybe we do see they will reprise that Wukong if Verdant doesn't steal it away here to add to that ease of execution, but they're not going to be able to partake in any monkey business themselves, so going to have to drop to a slightly lower tier jungler, maybe going to pick it up here, but instead opting for Ahri, getting a mid lane matchup, and you expect they're going to try and protect this a little bit.
Yeah, and I mean, it's Ahri without the Vi, and only with Nautilus's point and click. You would expect something like the Scion from last game, something with some heavy AoE engage, Aurelion Soul perhaps, or even you would just expect a jungle match at this point. So it makes me think, do Nord have something special for that jungle pick when they could so easily have played it off here, or maybe we just see jungle on 4 instead of blind top. Potentially Nautilus in the jungle.
Fulfills a similar role to the Vi.
For sure, like the Nautilus pick is very strange. Not in its synergy with Misfortune and what it does to the Lucian. It's very strange in the sense that you know the enemy is useless if they pick Nautilus at this stage. So why not just go for a jungle match now with Wukong and then go Nautilus later after the enemy has picked Nami? No, instead they went the Nautilus. Despite the fact that it left the Wukong open to be taken away. They've banned 2 mids immediately. Syndra ban, very good. The Azir ban is more targeted towards Niter. Him and Errol last split were the big Azir, well, and Fury actually. That Nord will remember Fury for sure. The Malphite ban I do like. That's another champion that could do a lot into the Lucian. But this is, you want to talk about point and click, you want to talk about synergy, Nocturne with a dive buddy, ease of execution, everything is here there, right? I think that's something that can threaten the Lucian really well. It all entirely depends on how Wukong plays, right? His knockup can still do a lot. How Nami plays, her knockup can still do a lot, right? But I think there are pretty easy windows for them to play in there. And basically, Misfortune just napalms an entire area, and Nocturne just fireproofingly takes out everybody in the middle of it. It's an easy come to execute, and it makes the Ahri make a lot more sense. You like her with the point and click of the Vi, but here, with that combination of support jungle mid, you can see how it works out.
It is still a bit of a strange composition that they're having to fight into, though, on the side of Nords, because I wouldn't look at what Verdant have got here as a traditional, we've got our hyper carries at the back, they're going to stay there the entire time, and we're just relying on our tank line to stay strong, and we'll melt through you as it goes. I think Verdant here, much more able to sort of skirmish and be a little bit more disjointed in fights, which is going to make it difficult to wombo stuff like that Misfortune ultimate.
I mean, I like the Annie. I somewhat prefer Lissandra in these kinds of compositions. Basically, the way you play Lucian now, you don't play him as a DPS champ, you play him as a burst assassin. And so you want something that can lock down and set up your full burst combo, which is your R, and you just kind of like slam your hand on the keyboard and it plays itself. That Annie does provide the point and click. The Wukong can continue to keep them locked in. The Nami can really obviously continue to keep them locked in, right? And somehow give Lucian more magic damage and AD damage. I don't know. I don't know why this is in the Game Freak, but like, please deal with it. So the Verdant composition is very tunneled on that Lucian pick itself, right? We need to enable the Lucian's all-in. We need to enable the Lucian's one-shot. Popster is there to allow them to come in second into stuff like Drake pits, Baron pits, stuff like this, but the rest of the composition from Lord is very obvious what they want to do. They just want to get in. They want to get into Verdant, right? They have 2 dive champions that can do it. They want the Misfortune to press R while that's happening to make it really difficult to outplay them. Worst case scenario, just burn all 5 of their flashes, your cooldowns are up first, and they're all dead. A split map state will also heavily favour them.
I'll tell you what, we were asking, are Verdant going to continue to play towards bot lane, or are they going to draft something that can carry a little bit more? They've done both, because he's going to be playing the Cassante champion, which, as you know, if you have watched the NLC, any league, really, can just be an absolute threat to sort of any backliner.
It can be a menace, but it is a menace that you can somewhat ignore and just kind of let passively win on the top lane itself. And I think that's most likely what we're going to see happen. You're likely to see them play very heavily around the Lucian army, just get that damage, get the multiple super shard combo up with the Stormbreaker, with the Gale Force of the RFC on the Lucian, and just try to play out the game for the Lucian's one shot. So I'm going to be really interested to see the tier 2 boots, because I'm a massive nerd, that Lucian builds, because there's the option for him to just go Ninja Tabbies here and have it have a lot of value. I'm never calling it whatever the other thing is. Riot, that's not happening.
The plated steel caps.
Yeah, I mean, you can say that. It's your job, as we discussed in the previous game.
That's my burden. That's my burden. I have to use the actual names for stuff. Yeah. I can't just say he did the thingy with the item. Could never. All right,
Q.
Well, yeah, it's what? There's 5 abilities in League of Legends. Q, W, E, R, and passive, right? That's it. Just got loads of different variations of those.
Yeah. Sometimes I add a number, so I'll be like on R1, R2, you know?
Ooh, that's true, that's true. No, that's a little bit too mechanically complex for me.
Poppy can block the R2, so you don't want to use the R2, you just want to use W to break.
Genuinely, Veteran, the Udyr rework made him too mechanically demanding for me.
True. What an intense champion.
I wish I was memeing, bro.
Wow. I sell coaching sessions.
I might buy coaching sessions. Anyway, we are on to the Rift. Nothing crazy at the level 1s, just 5-point starts for both of these teams. Indecision going to be starting towards the top side of the map. Taxa, similarly, like we were saying, bot lane's kind of where we expect the action to be.
Oh my god. Ooh. That NLC player fax feels like a threat, no?
Yeah.
Nyla, do you really want to win this lane? Do you really want to win this lane, Nyla? Alright, do you really? Because I might see you at LAN at some point, baby. Do you really think about it?
How far is Poland from Finland? Kaczkos just gets on a train over. Little man, you shouldn't have solo killed me there. But I think you were saying in Champions Select you're not expecting massive amounts of action to come out this top lane. So if there are any solo kills, it is going to be a surprise.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, you're seeing the top to bot start from the Wukong as well, right? He's looking to go bot lane. If Gooby is just allowed to be poked down by the MF, then Seneca and Hido could actually have an opening. So Wukong needs to go bot side and be able to escort them. But ultimately, the pressure will be... I don't know why my doorbell's ringing. The pressure will be on the Lucian army. and they should be able to cleanly get out of this laning phase. Not
Surely...
much threat available unless Wendell moves up like that and Seneca lands hook, but he's only level 1.
You think maybe someone's at your door, veteran?
There's like literally no reason for someone to be at my door. And that also that doorbell, like if it's the prison doorbell, that means that they're outside. So there's probably a delivery guy spamming every button in the apartment complex. I can't unplug it. I've tried. I can't unplug the doorbell. If I could, I'd just unplug it. And
then no one would ever enter your house again, ever.
I don't want anyone to enter my house. I love my solitary life where
That's fair.
I either learn about children's video game, right, with League of Legends, or I play GeoGuessr.
That sounds amazing, I'm not gonna lie.
It's the life, man.
Sounds good. Early laning phase, going in favour there of Gooby and Wendell. Seneca walking up here, thinking about interrupting a recall. Going to decide better of it, but with indecision on the bottom side as well, maybe there's an angle for Nord to grab something.
I mean, they know that Wukong's done a full path on top to bot side, so if they were to just go fully aggressive there and Wukong jumps out the bush, that would be really bad for the scale to level 6 plan that Nord has. So, good decision not to go all in there. Right now, the lane bot is just a function of the matchup. The guy who's really suffering is this Nocturne, right? He was able to get the Scotland bot side, but he hasn't reset his 2 camps on top. They're still level 1, whereas Wukong's about to come in for an entire full top to bot clear. And depending on the information he has because of that blue ward on bot side, he may know that he has a window to double scuttle.
Yeah, and obviously, on a champion like Nocturne, it's so important to hit that level 6 first. Not going to be able to get that one. The first paranoia usage really sort of sets the tone for how the champion's game is going to go.
Yeah, and they buffed the XP on that scuttle for this season, so that actually does hurt, and it's not just a mental block in the jungler's head anymore, looking at you, Blabber. Wukong had a recall. Nocturne knows that from seeing that and seeing the items that Wukong had, the double longsword, so Wukong knows he can't contest any wave, and Wukong knows that he can just clear full top to bot on level 4 camps and be very far ahead of Nocturne. Nocturne's only just getting a respawn on bot. That respawn on Raptors is not going to happen for a while, and he still only has level 1 Krugs. He's very far behind in the game, so he's trying to make it up by getting this pickaxe now and making a play immediately. He's not bothered about that camp on bot side. What he knows is Wukong's going to be bot side right now, so if Wukong tries to match, this is a window where Indecision can win 2v2. He needs to make something happen with this. Good decision by him.
Yeah, warrior tricks are used from Taxa to try and add a bit of additional DPS, but Indecision able to make the move over. Smite goes down to Taxa. See, he's been in those 50-50 Smite situations too many times.
I actually just don't, like, they became a meme last split about how many games were turns just because Taxa 50-50 smited a Baron or an Elder or a Soul. Like, he just, I don't know, he just has something on his smite that makes it do more damage than other people.
Not too many on Big Raptor, though.
Not too many on Big Raptor.
Not too many game-changing smites on Big Raptor, but I mean that's another camp away. Nita pressured very aggressively in the mid lane. Omon's so close to getting a solo kill.
Yeah, he's playing Ahri into a low mobility champion on Nita. Nita went for the all-in, but oh my god, 4 people coming in.
Just play safe mid, just play safe mid, bro!
Yeah, just play safe mid.
First blood for Catchcos. Nord not leaving that mid lane without taking down Nita.
I mean, that was just Nita's fault for not playing safe mid. God, what are you doing, man? But, like, realistically, Omon set that up really well. On the Ahri, getting a lot of the initial damage down, regardless of whether the former mid comes in. So we're seeing signs of life from the mid jungle of Nord. Tax is still more or less doing whatever he wants, and Annie's job primarily is to do utility for the Lucian later, and enable the Lucian to be able to one-shot. But still, you have to feel really good about that as Nord. They've come into the game swinging.
Ooh, and I like this. Trying to deny as much as they possibly can away from Indecision. They've got the timer on that red buff. I don't think they realized that Otto was actually going to be there. So maybe pull the trigger on the play a little bit too early, but fundamentally, Indecision is not getting his topside red buff.
This is why Indecision moved straight in towards the Raptors instead of going for further resets on his camps. If he went for further resets on his camps and just tried to match Wukong that way, he would be doing a gank 2 camps behind, and the small item advantage he had, 875 versus 750 buy, would not matter. He went for the Raptors because if he can make a play there and get Taxa there, he'd be able to get ahead. But because he hasn't, you have Sheen out on Taxa. Taxa has full priority in the jungle because you're delayed your resets even further. These are still the first reset on camps on bot side there. He wasn't allowed to just do his top side cleanly. He wasn't able to make the play on bot there, and now he can't match Wukong anywhere. All Nocturne really has left is cheese, or maybe Verdant overextending on a very delayed level 6 from Nocturne. Look at the levels here between Taxa and Indecision. Look at the items. Who wins 2v2? Who wins 3v3? Which team is more comfortable on the map right now? Unless you're the mid laner that got formed.
Well, I'm going to say it's probably Verdant right now. Indecision, finally, I'm going to be able to tick over to that level 6, but it's already 8 minutes, which means the Rift Herald has spawned. This is going to be spotted out by Nord. You see on the mini-map there, Indecision moving through the mid lane, Seneca there as well. I think they want to contest this.
Yep. Crucial timing was the 7-minute push on bot. Nocturne wasn't 6 to get Lucian Nami on that push, so they've reset. They're here early. They're here with items bought. Taxa has more items bought. This should be a Verdant-favoured fight.
Paranoid going to be dropped, but Seneca getting dropped! They're not able to take him out, and Verdant, they just pull the trigger quicker, and Nords, they get nothing.
I'm proud of myself for getting that explanation out exactly on time, to be honest.
Good job, well done you.
We're doing really well together for middle cut, you know? I think the synergy we developed last split, you know, I think it's still coming through.
Do you want me to give you a little, like, head pat? Is that where this is going, Veteran?
I'm giving you a head pat right now.
Oh, thank you.
Accept
it. Yeah. I can't believe I just did that.
You're a beautiful kitten, middle cut. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Do you want to Yumi me after the game? We'll space slide.
Not sure if that's necessarily appropriate.
Well, space sliding is always appropriate and low. Holy.
It's got to be done. Looking at the game though, fairly even across the board. How are we feeling like both teams are doing in terms of their win conditions? Right. I'm assuming Verdant are going to be feeling a little bit happier with how the game's going.
I think the winning team is the team in the lead.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. No, that feels fine to me.
Yeah, I mean, right now there's a lot of threat on Nord from the Nocturne being level 6, but you have the timing until the ultimate comes up again. And when that ultimate comes up, Knight is going to have his ult, Taxa's going to have his ult. And Taxa has been so far ahead of the map that he's probably going to be in the window where he can match lanes. Knight, though, taking some damage from Omen. Omen really wants to get this guy low so that the Nocturne can just ult straight on him on 6. Look at this match play on top side though. Look at all of the control coming out from Verdant, knowing that they are ahead. A lot of this is just to make sure that the Nocturne can't ult on them in Fog of War, right? If they can ensure that, they don't get isolated, picked out by the Nocturne, then they're good to go. Indecision's ult is up now. That whole top to mid is fully in control by Verdant. Nocturne can't see anything there. The whole thing is dark for him. That's why Nord need to come in, try to take it all back. Because catching on rotation here, that's the best way that Indecision can get back in the game.
Yeah, and for Nord, they're not massively falling to deficits, which when you consider how good a team Verdant are, and you consider that wasn't a great week for Nord last week, it's actually pretty good for them at this point, all things considered.
Yeah, no, I mean, Nord were the guys who were able to draw the first blood. They did it with that 4-man on mid. That's really good team play that they did. They did it off of the back of a good trade that Oman got. It was an objectively good trade for him, given the circumstances of the game, right? So, really good signs of life from them. Poppy right now, though, is the only one on the board with a kill, and she can do a surprising amount of damage, but you'd obviously prefer if it's on the MF Nautilus. They are level 6 now, level 6-7. On that bot lane. They're trying to set up an all-in, but every time Lucian Nami crash, they just go and get control in River to deny the Nocturne. And in doing so, they effectively deny Misfortune Nautilus the all-in. They want to get that all-in when you're sieging them under tower. You can't siege these two under tower. And so Verdant are like, we recognize that. We're just not going to do it. I'm gonna go get my feet wet a little, right? You know, like I feel like I've earned this holiday. All right. They say that this river's really cool and stuff, so they're doing it again. They get the crash bot lane.
Ooh, paranoia.
But they're sighted. There's a ward in Tribush there.
Yeah, so I think that was just Wendell flashing away from a Seneca hook. Obviously investing the tidal wave as well, but it's another up from Indecision, and he's still there with just a single kill participation to his name. And when we get into these team fights, I'm imagining that Taxa on this Wukong is going to be a heck of a lot more useful, considering the fact that Indecision hasn't really been able to snowball.
Small victories here, right? So you don't have Flash on Nami anymore, you won't have Flash on Nami for another 4 minutes 30 seconds, and the Nocturne will have his ultimate up way before that point, so potentially if Wendelbo can get sighted on a ward like that again, Nocturne can maybe feel like he goes in, so they do have another window there, but you know, getting that crash on mid lane, getting those plates, getting that control towards River, which will net them first onto the Drake, that's all big things for Verdant as well.
Looking good for them as it stands. It's been a while since anyone's taken a Drake in this game. It's 13 minutes in and none of them have died. So any Dragon Rights activists are going to be very happy with that. But anyone hoping for a soul probably going to be disappointed. Where are we thinking that this team fight is going to break out, Veteran? Where do you think that moment is going to be where we're finally going to see these two compositions really butt heads?
I mean, probably another neutral objective, because Verdant are doing such a good job of preventing these lane-based plays that Nord's composition works out really well in from happening. I think it's gonna be a Drake contest, a second Herald contest, right? Looking in towards the late game, a Baron contest even, where these compositions will butt heads and fight. And if it does get to that, it's implied, therefore, that Verdant are 5v5, and Verdant's composition plays out very well in those 5-on-5 situations.
Yeah, we're starting to see more items hitting the Rift. We've got that Divine Sunderer attacks. We know how much of a spike that can be for the Wukong. And Gooby's got that Gale Pulse on the Lucian, so if you thought one dash was bad enough, he's got another one as well.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I love Omen here on this Ahri as a dive buddy to the Nocturne, but you have to think, if the Nocturne you're facilitating can't one-shot, what use is it even having all of that kind of mobility going in, right? Ooh, he was thinking about it. He was feeling it.
Definitely was. That's level 11 Nanny, though. You need to be careful about that. Catchkos presses W, walks away from Taxa, making his way towards the top side. Does look like second Rift Herald is going to be where the action's going down, Veteran.
Is that how you pronounce it? Catchkos?
Yeah, Catchkos. Yeah.
I've been calling him Kakos to his face, like, the whole time.
Wait, to his face? It's like Polish pronunciation, right? It's different.
I mean,
I had a bad one. Like, there's a jungler who plays in Hit Point Masters called Yaki, and because it's Czech, it's written. I love that guy. He's so good. He's a really good player. But like, I saw Jejky, and I was like, Jejki. That's not a name. That's never been a name, and that's not what he's called. Nord. Walking away with the Red Herald, going to be happy with that, but Verdant got a bit of pressure on this top side, and Taxa has potentially found a gauge onto Seneca. Wow. Paranoia going to be dropped. But it's Nord that need to be scared. Another body hitting the floor, and Verdant going to be able to take down this top lane tower.
It feels like ever since the opening plays there, ever since that Nocturne decision to go towards bot side with Wukong reset, that Verdant have just been a step ahead, and a large amount of that has been on Taxa, and right there again, a step ahead, sees the play, sees the ability to knock up and lock down for Gooby, goes straight in on it, all of the damage comes down, the shard coming through from Lucian as well. It looks like a very good game to be Verdant, and I said that I thought it would happen over a Herald contest or a Drake contest, but Verdant instead, they found the opportunity to finally push through in lane. They were able to find their fight that way. Gooby just casually dodging everything Omen has. This is kind of why you like Vi with Ahri, point and click CC to set up everything else from the Ahri.
Yeah, I mean, you've got one of those point and clicks coming out of the jungle, but Indecision has been 0 for 3 in terms of the Nocturnes. Hasn't even pulled the trigger onto a backline target, and with half the cooldown left on that, we've got Spirit Rush missing from Omen as well. There's nothing really stopping Verdant from walking towards this Dragon Pit.
Yeah, nothing really, but all of their critical ultimates, except for the most critical one, are up though. The Lucian ultimate itself. That's going to prevent Verdant from going straight in for a team fight. But the crucial ultimate for Nord, arguably, is that ultimate on the Nocturne. Yes, you can get a kind of setup for the Misfortune to get an ult, but you're not going to get some 5-man AoE ult with the setup that Nord have. The purpose of that ultimate is to cause distraction and split while Nocturne dives in. He can't do that at this point, so they're happy to just trade away there. Moving in here, they still have enough burst as threat. So Nord aren't going to follow. Nord are just going to trade recalls for that Drake. It's all trades on top of trades on top of trades. Ultimately, I think Verdant are going to be happy taking that. Is that really their first Drake?
Yes, it is, Veteran.
Really? I think Nord are happy with that then. I think Nord are happy with that. I take it back. I actually think Nord are really happy with the state of the map right now because they were able to get their recalls off first. That gets them priority on this push top. That gets them priority on taking vision control here. And now Nocturne has an ult. He could maybe try to find an angle. Seneca has the burn flash, but ultimately was never really at risk of dying.
Yeah, able to use that to get away. But for Nord as a whole, whilst we have talked a lot about indecision and how he hasn't really been able to find the plays that we're sort of looking for, Kashkos is here on the Poppy, definitely a champion that can start fights. Omen, Seneca as well have the ability to do so, and the fact that we're sitting here 18 minutes in, Nord with a single kill to their name, not only am I surprised, but I'm a little bit worried for them.
Yeah, I mean, this feels like a game where... Wow, actually, that's a 3k gold lead actually on the side of Verdant. I never even really acknowledged that. They've gotten so much of these structures, so much of...
Oh, here we go, Indecision going for a kill!
Oh, the stopwatch
for Niter, and he's not going to have a chance to drop anything else. Reset here for Omen, and actually Gooby going to get caught out here with a flash charm. Tidal Wave disengage. Nords, they heard what they were talking. They are starting to get a little bit more feisty. Mid lane, potentially got a push here. Hook going down onto Taxa. It's just going to be that clone. Doesn't look likely that Nord are going to be able to take down this mid lane tower just yet. But with a force from Indecision, they shall do so, evening up that goal disadvantage a little bit.
Yeah, big issue here. That stopwatch from Manny could have worked out, but Gooby and Taxa are coming at it from different angles, such that Gooby had to just get out. He was very easy for Nord to collapse on by coming in at that angle, so Niter ultimately had to be left to his fate. Gooby even had to burn flash. The ult!
Team fights starting out here 1-for-1. Taxa
dead.
Not going to be able to escape. It's 2 kills there for Norden. The last 2 minutes, they have quadrupled their contribution to the kill count in this game, and with 2 off the boards, 20 minutes in, why not go for the Baron?
Yeah, massive mistake by Verdant there and Nord. They have turned this into a game. We figured it would be quite one-sided, and it looked for a while like it would be, but what did we say? We said the good thing that Verdant were doing was that Lucian Army was avoiding protracted sieges on the tower, because that would give MF...
Yeah, no way. Okay, that's cool. Cassante can't quite 1v4. Nord's gonna have to burn some summoner spells to get out of there. May have to burn Kachkos's life, but Omen still willing to go forward, protecting his top laner.
He might die.
Gonna get chased down, hit by the very last edge of the tidal wave. Niter has the stun charged up. He's gonna get knocked away, but not before he claims that kill. So Nord, they are able to get the Baron, but they do lose their mid laner for it.
Yeah, I mean, Gooby and Wendell had done such a good job avoiding protracted sieges for a while in the tower, but that one time that they didn't was on Baron spawn. Misfortune, Nautilus see that, are like, oh, I'm happy to enter the late game with a free Baron, thank you for saying that to us, Gooby, and just took the free gift. Massive misplay by Verdant there, opened up a lot for Nord. Verdant, they got a kill, but I guarantee you they'd trade that kill any day for the Baron that is currently on Nord. This is officially a competitive game of League of Legends.
I'm glad to see it, because honestly, for the first 20 minutes, it didn't look like it was going to be, but Nord have really sort of woken up a little bit and are putting Verdant in some rough positions. And the fact that it took so long for us to get that first Drake down means that it's not like we've got Soul really to consider for either of these teams as a realistic win condition.
Yeah, I mean, the Soul is so heavily delayed. Also, apparently we're getting double clouds early. The Soul is super heavily delayed. but fighting around these neutral objectives, that is where Verdant should be able to do things best.
Ooh,
Could be
dash
very
forward.
impressive.
On to Hito. Omen's going to come back. Here comes the Nocturne as well. Indecision diving forward, getting that kill, taking the Eddie carry off the board. Not before Verdant are able to take him out, though. Another 1-for-1, but Catch Cost looks determined to change that fact. Nile on the front line, still standing strong on the Cassante. Hasn't really had too much to do in this game, but is changing his impact all out onto Catch Cost, who can interrupt a dash, who can get a kill back onto Nita, but will drop in the end. Another close fight, a 2-for-2. Misfortunes back, able to return to the map. Verdant, they need to take this Drake very quickly, otherwise they could get punished. Nila dashing away. Taxa just needs to find the smite, but he's going to get out of the pit. No use risking it. And Verdant will give up the Drake, but they won't lose anybody else.
Gooby buddy, that was the wrong way around. The CC chain is supposed to come out before your burst does, right? Lucian goes in there, presses R, is unable to hit everything, and then suddenly the Nami, the Wukong, the Annie even, are effectively disengaged, while Gooby tries to move back and reset with his R on cooldown. None of it came out in the right order, and so Verdant didn't really have a composition, Verdant didn't really have a team, and Nord all too happy to capitalize on that. Very well done by them, and also very good to recognize that with Misfortune coming out of base, they could very easily contest that Drake. It's a 3v3, but they're being hit by that Drake over and over and over again, so Nord threatened them by just standing there. Game's going well for Nord. No, they haven't exactly taken the entire map with the Baron, but my god, we weren't expecting these people to put up that much of a fight. And right now, the last few scenarios, I think you feel very comfortable if you're Nord.
Yeah, we were asking, okay, maybe this is a team that can't win against Verdant, but this is a team that can put up some great performances against them. And hey, if you chain together enough great performances in team fights, who knows what could happen. Fundamentally, it's like you say, Veteran, we have got a competitive League of Legends game here. And based off the first week of competition in the NLC, I don't think anyone would have expected that.
Yeah, I don't think so, but, you know, the whole focus of the NLC right now is, you know, expect the unexpected. I vote for that as being literally the motto of this split of NLC, by the way. Expect the unexpected. Nord are holding very much true to the overall performances of rookie talent in week one. We can't act like Omen and Indecision on crucial parts of what's going on. No. Cash Cost, yes, he is 4-1 and 2, and that trade kill on the Annie in the middle of like 3 people was just poppy things. But Indecision, he's found the kill onto Gooby there when Gooby messed up. Omen has been piling a lot of pressure on with this Ari. He's been going for catches. He isn't playing passively, right? This guy's trying to make things happen. Like that again, I respect it. And it's how you have to be playing this champion. Very good showing from the rookies on Nord.
Verdant trying to engage on Kakachkos, just defending this top lane tower more than trying to get an actual fight on to that top laner. But next Baron, for me, Veteran, that's where we're really going to see what goes on in this game, because the first one, it brought Nord back. It brought them on parity, and it gave them an opportunity to take down what is looking like one of the strongest teams in the league. But I think if Verdant pick up the purple buff, then they know what to do with that, and we could be looking at a dead Nexus on the Nord side very, very swiftly.
We absolutely could be, but will Verdant get their entire combo out properly this time? Taxa still waiting on the Wukong ultimate to come back. It should be up at the same time as the Baron contest has to happen. So let's see, can Gooby play a bit more patient? We talked about Gooby being an aggressive player beforehand. He just needs to switch that on after Taxa sets it up for him, because currently the successful plays of Verdant have been on Taxa. A lot of the good gameplay early has been on Taxa, so before you just insta-slam Gooby on the MVP vote, please remember that. Nord, they have to come in second in towards Verdant. This is where Poppy can become very valuable, right? Yes, you have 5 people there, but Poppy can change that with one swift whack of the hammer, and Indecision is on one of the best champions to capitalize on such a separation. Look how much pressure Catchcross is putting, I'm calling him that from now on the bot lane. He has Sheen as well, he has demolished half the tower of health, has just evaporated. To the face.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna lie,
she says that.
but Poppy is just like a very cool character. Like,
yes.
she's very sincere and just very, like, just chill.
She's like female Kyber. That's how I feel her personality is. She's female Kyber.
Like Poppy, bro, you're the hero. Like, you keep carrying around that hammer. Like, how can you not see this, bro? What's going on?
Is there some lore thing I'm missing here? I'm not.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
not
no,
sure.
that is a lore thing, veteran. It's outside of
I
your
have no idea.
area of expertise. Tower taking though, map movements. I'm sure you know a fair bit about that. And Nord trying to instigate them where with a TP into the back line from Omen. Indecision on top of Gooby, but he's not able to kill him. Kashko's finally able to slay him down. Fights split up a little bit, but that's feeling good for Nord. They've got 2 kills. And Verdant haven't really been able to reply back. Nile going all out onto Omen, finally able to take down the Ari, but the Cassante is so low. Niter there, still stood tall. 2 for 1, very, very cagey fight, veteran.
Seneca's ultimate on the Lucian, that's exactly what you want. You pick him for the point and click CC to control Gooby, and he did it beautifully there. Gooby managed to get 2 screens away, but he had the Nautilus ultimate trailing him the whole time. Indecision jumps on, is like, this is what my job is. Omen gives his life for it, but they eliminate the entire composition if they just eliminate Gooby, and Gooby basically let out the entirety of his ultimate on Catch Coast, on the champion that is designed to just face tank the entire thing. Really well done by them there. They're not quite getting the Drake off of it, but they're progressively winning fights.
Verdant trying to set up a little bit of a death rush here, but getting a stun onto Catchcos is not productive. It's just not. The Poppy is way too strong at this point.
Nah. What's really funny is that it's basically built full armor here, and that was Niter that was unloading on it.
Doesn't matter, still is Poppy.
Yeah.
Verdant going to get another move into River, and now usually, just before 29 minutes, when we're looking at Drake fights, we're looking at soul points at the very least, but this would be second Drake for either team, so the traditional math is that dying for this, losing a team fight for this, is not worth it all.
I don't know, add that percentage onto Kakos build, and I think Kakos becomes invincible, especially he's 5-1 and 3, by the way. This guy's silently carrying on the side of Lord. Now, Seneca can land an ult, if Omen can land a charm, if Indecision can find an angle, and they take out Gooby, Verdant again won't have a comp. Wendell about to burn flash, he's almost down. Omen's doing a lot. Yeah.
Just on the side, being irritating on the Ari more than anything, and that's going to open up Nord to take out the Dragon. No real way for them to find a fight afterwards, though.
Really big for Nord, though. Very tanky Poppy that's been very impactful in the game, and a statement set there from Omen. No, there wasn't any big flashy kill, there wasn't any big montage play, but Wendell was basically out. Niter was close to just being straight out, thanks to Omen's flank play. Kakos face tanking.
Yeah, the Poppy's going to be able to survive for a while, but not long enough. Okay, turns out when 4 or 5 members of the enemy team drop every single spell on you, you are going to die in the end. And without their primary frontline, this makes this Baron contest very, very tricky here for Nord. You see Niter just trying to hide out of vision. Baron getting low, 4,000 HP. Nord still hanging around. They're going to go for a pick-up to Niter. They found the Annie, they caught him out. Thought he was being sneaky on the side, but gets sneaked on, gets assassinated, and Omen going for another trip into the backline to take out Wendell. Oh my word, where was this Nord in week 1? A triple kill for Omen.
From a statement position into an absolute statement fight from Omen.
Oh no.
Most of their... Oh god, not this again.
Taxa, don't you dare, don't you dare, don't you dare, don't you dare!
It was like I can't even react to that. It's like it's just you just know it happens.
How?
This was the entire story of last split. You can kill all of them, but if you leave that one guy up, he just does it. I don't know how he does it. He just like
veteran.
Every time. It's literally every time. I just like the moment he was in the pit and it was 1,000 I was like, oh, it's just gone, isn't it? It's just gone, isn't it? Like
it's not a 50-50. It's not a 50-50 when Taxa is in the game.
It literally isn't. If Taxa, it literally isn't. That's just a Verdant Baron. That's what it is. How? I mean, come on. Like that's not. Like that's just not on. I'm sorry. Like Nord deserved that Baron. Nord deserved that Baron. Omen deserved that Baron. All right, like. What do you even do there? God is just on. Whatever God Taxa worships is the real one. All right, that's right. That's not even a hot take. That's just reality. That's just facts.
Do you know what? Do you know what? I'm inclined to agree with you. And hey, you're telling me off a little bit, making sure that I'm not picking ADCs needlessly for MVP in your opinion. Well, Taxa, that's an MVP-worthy play if Verdant are able to close out this game.
Smite steals are not worthy. His pathing early was just way better and held Verdant in the game the whole time. He got so many advantages that way, so I'd give him MVP for that. I'm not giving MVP for a Smite steal.
Do you know what? Do you know what? We've both got our reasons, but it's leading us to potentially the correct ones, right?
True. Divine Intervention is not an MVP thing, okay?
No, man. It depends on how consistently you're able to cool it down.
I mean, but that's on God, not him.
On God, Tax is just going to get every single Baron. And Alpha Verdant, this very much feels like more of a stalling Baron, right? This has delayed the game. This has prevented Nord from really being able to do anything because
Do
no
any of
members
them
of
have
Verdant...
Baron?
None of them actually got the Baron because they were all dead at the time.
I was going to say, I'm pretty sure literally none of them have it. It was like a Baron denial, which is still big. Right, if Nord had Baron here, especially with Poppy, I feel like the close of this game is quite easy for you to do, right? You have... Do I want to say you have disengage? You have a lot of really good options here. If Verdant try to get... He's alive, he's alive.
Okay.
Burned flash, burned ult though, which is pretty big because in a minute, the Drake's gonna come up, and you just made it way easier for you to get control of that Drake.
Yeah, and Ari without access into the backline is not really a champion, but credit to Omen. I think in these fights he has been very active, constantly finding people out. That catch onto Nita, if it weren't for the absolute heroics of Taxa around that Baron, could very well have been the game-winning play.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I really feel like a spotlight on Omen is something I'd love to do, but like, kind of have to give MVP to the winning team. But if Nord's MVP is definitely Omen. I was almost going to give it to Seneca for that catch on Gooby, but the way that he played that sequence of fights on Drake onto Baron, that did secure the Baron. Okay,
yes.
God. Like, was so well played by Omen there. Really good aggression, really good flanks, some really good tendencies he's just shown over the course of the game. Dramatic change from last week. I think Nord's development staff can be very proud of what they've been able to do, but honestly, don't want to take anything away from Omen. Omen himself should be really proud of what he has been able to do over the course of the last week.
Oh, Verdant stacking up a little bit. Nice to go for an engage. Hito's going to get focused down, but the backline of Verdant is being evaporated. Both AD carries off of the board. And now, up to the rest of the teams to find their advantages. Teams on, really, the wrong sides of each other's map right now. Verdant make their way into the mid. Nord on to the Dragon, but Verdant still looking to contest.
Poppy R?
Coming off cooldown here for catch cost, you'd imagine he's going to want to charge it up.
No, well, when it's low, charge it up and knock Taxa out. Don't burn it before you can guarantee Taxa can't be there. You know
being played onto by Nillair and taking a fair bit of damage. They're focusing down the Nautilus, but excited to be turned around. Indecision, going for a play here, but Nillair goes into the backline and takes them down. Omen still able to dash away and survive, but this time it's Verdant who get the advantage in the fight. It's Taxa getting a double kill for himself, and they are not willing to give up this game.
Omen still making... Nord, I mean. Feels like Omen. Still making it really, really close, but... Verdant just able to win the front to back. Both sides don't have their ADCs. You'd think it'd be more crucial on Verdant. But Cassante has become that DPS beast. Taxa, he has Black Cleaver and he has Divine Sunderer. He is a DPS beast himself. So yeah, I mean, they're able to actually secure the second mountain. The second mountain would have sent Poppy into absolute overdrive. And Omen, I mean, you do DPS, but let's be real, mate. You're on Ari, so not really any actual damage able to come out from Nord, except for an opening salvo with Charm on the Lucian.
And it means that sort of Verdant get the opportunity to show us that, actually, guys, we are very, very good at League of Legends, okay? You need to respect us. We got another Baron spawning in 30 seconds. I said that the second Baron would be the one that decides this game, and it feels like circumstances engineered themselves so they absolutely couldn't. Unless we get another 5-man with no Baron again, I think that this one should decide it.
Last fight, Seneca was MVP again, flashed straight on top of Gooby, did not let that guy play the fight. Look at Gooby's kill participation, only 5 out of 11 kills, despite being the most important part, theoretically, of the composition. And that's in large part due to Seneca in multiple fights and Oman in that last sequence. If they can catch him again, honestly, the one of them that gets onto Gooby, that's the MVP for me on this next fight. Assuming Nord win. Assuming. Because Verdant, they're still in the game. They still have a good composition to execute on. It's Wukong, and Wukong is fed from Wukong SGA. So it's a very difficult monkey to control. It's a very difficult monkey to chain, right? That guy, I mean, you know, Jamie, pull it up and all that, right? Like, you know,
I mean,
you know those things are basically pure muscle, you know? Like...
I've had to rip your face off, man.
Yeah.
Taxa kind of looking like that guy at the moment, but Nord trying to change
never.
that, channeling up with a keeper's verdict.
Oh!
Away 4! Taxa the only one here for Verdant, but he's going to be able to walk away. That was an incredible poppy ult. It's going to buy Nord some time around the Baron, but Verdant are going to be able to walk in.
Yeah, I mean, the problem there is that the Nautilus ult also vanished along with every member of Verdant as Poppy knocked that Nautilus ulted guy away, so they weren't actually able to take out Gooby. They don't have a fast Baron at all with these champions, so they can't just insta-sneak it while Verdant, well, not really sneak it, but do it without Verdant being able to contest, so they just have to reset and just don't have a Nautilus or a Nocturne or a Poppy or an Ari ult.
Yeah, you're just looking at Hido sort of screaming bullet time into the Baron pit and hoping that's going to be good enough. Niter looking for another flank. He was caught out last time he went for something like this, but this time he's going to be able to catch out Omen. Goes back over the wall to get the charm. The order deception flying back. Niter ticking down so low, but in the river, it's Nord finding the advantage. Taxa going to be forced out of the top side of the fight on minuscule amounts of HP. Niter still alive, but surely not for much longer. Flashes forward to try and get the kill back, and he is able to take out Nord's mid laner, but that is the only dead body on the red side of the rift, and a Baron looks as good as Nord's.
He managed to prevent Omen being a part of the fight, but Seneca said no. Indecision said no. Kako said, is my champion really allowed to just exist like this? And they were able to take out Verdant, and they've secured the second Baron. So if you're a Middlecop fan, you're thinking Nord all the way at this point.
Yeah, if you want me to sound intelligent, then Nord should win the game right now. And I feel like Veteran, they should be winning the game right now, but it is still really dependent on that next fight. They've got a decent advantage for themselves, and I want to see this Nord actually go for some of these pushes, go for some of these dives around the towers, because it feels like so long since we've really seen them fighting against Verdant whilst Verdant have been under one of their structures.
I mean, Middlecop, man, before this game, we were saying Verdant, they look like standouts. They took down natives. They were 2-0, flawless coming into the week. 2 games, but still, they were flawless coming into the week. And Nord were the guys that had stuff to prove. I think irrespective of if this ends up being a win or a loss, Nord have proven it. You agree?
I couldn't agree with you more, Veteran. This is a little later than they would have liked, but if they can keep up this sort of level across the split and maybe even improve on it, right, then they are going to be very, very dangerous. Verdant trying to make themselves a little bit more dangerous, potentially with a catch onto catch cost, but you need to be careful. This Poppy, very, very tanky. Keeper's Verdict going to be interrupted. We're using the Cyclone as well. We are dropping everything that we can to try and kill Catch.
Oh, he's alive!
He's going to be successful! He's still alive! He's still alive! He's still alive! Veteran, finally!
What's wrong with this champ?
With all of those cooldowns put into the Poppy. It's going to open up Nord to take over the rest of this fight. Taxa still has that Guardian Angel. Niter with the double stun. Indecision. It's going to come back to life. Seneca getting a hook there.
He's going straight in.
Naruto going sicko mode. Here comes Omen. It's a shutdown for Taxa, but it is a one fight for Nord Esports. They're going to be able to take everybody off the board, and they're going to push, try, and end this game.
MVP is the right balance team. What was that? How did it take so long to kill Poppy? Like, what was that? Oh, I honestly think Seneca's MVP. I think it's a statement game from Omen, but like, shout outs to Seneca. He did his job every fight. Lucian was basically not here. You're a big Gooby fan, but like, Seneca has not left you very much to talk about.
But
He's doing it again!
I think we're
I
going to be
respect
doing
it.
nothing but talk about this victory
Oh.
for Nords. Massive upset here in week 2, grabbing their first win of the split.
I mean, hats off.